Good morning, everybody. This is Lee Brower, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Mondays. Do you ever get a prompting that you act upon? And when you act upon it, you know that you're glad that you acted upon it? Well, that's what I learned this last week, is to listen to those promptings, those little small voice that comes to us. And I didn't learn it from me. I learned it from watching our daughter, Carly, who's, as you know, we've expressed before, recently returned home from Australia, where she was a missionary, and she also spoke Mandarin Chinese and taught English. Well, a family moved into our neighborhood recently, and it came to our knowledge that they did not speak English, they only spoke Chinese. So Carly, following the promptings, that small voice that comes to her, she got a couple of friends and went up and knocked on the door and introduced herself and actually became pretty good friends with them. She's now teaching the boys English, and she invited them to church yesterday, and they showed up. They didn't. I'm sure they didn't understand a word, but maybe they felt the spirit there. They felt the spirit of friendship for sure, because a lot of people came up and said hi to them. She also invited them to our home for dinner yesterday, and cause Lori is one of the best. My wife Lori is one of the best people. Our house is always open. Her arms are always open. She was a little nervous about what to prepare for them, and so Carly said she even considered going out and getting takeout, Chinese takeout. And Carly said, "Mom, if you went to China, would you expect them to fix you an American meal?" And of course not. And so we had a nice American meal. But what made it even more fun is that we invited a couple of the neighborhood boys over who were the same age as those boys, and we got out in the backyard, played a little basketball with them, and so we just had a nice evening. And but one of the things that happened while we were there, that since they were Chinese and we had interpreters there with us, years ago, a colleague and a good friend, I think his daughter made this. Presented us with this painting, and as you can see, it's in Chinese, the Chinese art, not of the graphics, the characters, and we wanted to confirm what it meant. And sure enough, it was what we thought. And this stands for clarity, this stands for balance, this stands for focus, and this stands for confidence. So let's talk about those four things right now. Clarity. When we're talking about clarity, as you've heard me talk about many times, and as you know, probably the most important leadership characteristic that you can have for yourself personally, if you're a leader in your business or a colleague in your business, for business families, family businesses that become business families, the most important thing that you can provide as a leader is a very clear vision. And I don't mean just a vision to make meaningful decisions in the moment. You have to have this meaningful, bigger future. It has to be dynamic in that it's constantly adjusting to the things that are happening. It's got to be transformative in that it's making you better. It's got to be a future that makes you better, that takes advantage of your skills and talents and makes them better, pulls your family together and makes your family better. And it's got to be a horizon, a destination you can never reach. Because what's next, many people build a business and they sell it, and that's not the vision, that's just kind of a temporary, it's a milestone along the way. The dynamic transformative horizon is that vision of the future that enables you, it inspires you, and will always be there, so there isn't any what's next, or there isn't any end to there's no end to the journey. The journey's ongoing. Even if you sold your business, you move right into the next stage without any hesitancy. So step one is that clarity. Step two then is balance. Now, we don't mean just balance, we mean dynamic balance. Dynamic balance is that balance that allows you to adjust to the curves of life. Think of a car traveling on a raceway. As it comes into a steep bank, if all four tires are weighted equally, that car is going to flip. But if you look at look at it through the lens of true wealth, our core assets, our experience assets, our contribution assets, and our financial assets. Our financial wealth, excuse me. So you look at that let's say we look at it through our core wealth, our family, our health, our value system, our traditions, our heritage, those things that value most to us, our individual wellness, happiness, and well-being, if you will. You look at it through that lens. How are we? Are we touching? Are we staying in touch with that? No matter what else is happening in our life. Sometimes we get so focused on financial that we tend to eliminate that. But what is that harmonious balance? Maybe we need to be heavily weighted on the financial because we're in a financial crisis, but don't let go of the core. Keep that wheel on the ground. And then our experience, always make our experience greater than our learning, greater than the experience. And so we want to have that wheel on the ground. And our contribution. What's the greatest gift you can give your children is to teach them how to create more than they consume. Don't you want to finish your life knowing that you created more for this planet that will outlive you, that will survive you than what you consumed? Then that's been a good life. And so looking at those four things and how they work together creates that dynamic balance. When you have dynamic balance, you eliminate what we call wobble. How many times do you carry around with you extra weight, extra burden because you feel out of balance? And you're constantly measuring yourself that you got to be equally balanced. Don't be equally balanced. Be harmonically balanced. Be dynamically balanced. Be able to focus on those things, but have systems in place and priorities in place that allow you to stay in touch with everything. I know that when we dealt with some of the toughest trials in our lives, when we struggled with our son Nick and his health battles for over 4 years, what got us through was not being so weighted just in the family and the core and the health of things, but being able to have our other wheels on the ground as well. That helped us get through. Our vision of the future sustained our present agony. The balance, harmonious balance that we had worked to get us through that. So look at that in your life. So vision, dynamic balance. The next one is then focus. And focus gives you efficiency. If you can focus in on those activities that generate the greatest results for you, that allows you to stay in your unique ability, what you do best, and build a unique ability team around you so that you can delegate the other things, then you're going to be operating at a much higher level of efficiency. There will be less waste and much more efficient. And then finally, if you have that vision of the future, that dynamic, transformative horizon that allows you to be able to always make good decisions, to stay focused on the essential so that you can actually say no to the very important, so that you can ask the question and you have the strength and the courage to say no to something because there's a bigger yes burning inside. That vision you can instill in others and in your family. And then you have that harmonious balance, that dynamic balance that's constantly readjusting itself based upon the curves that life's throwing at you, so that you can create velocity as you move through life by eliminating the wobble. And then third, you've got that ability to focus your activities and energies and unique abilities on those activities that will generate the greatest results for you, that are aligned with that dynamic, transformative horizon. You will have more confidence. You will have more confidence, true confidence, not phony confidence. See, phony confidence, that fake confidence, is really what, I define it as arrogance is an outward display of a lack of confidence. So you're talking about the strength of real confidence. And the strength of true confidence attracts greater relationships and greater opportunities into your life. So our challenge is, how can we use these four things? How can we establish a vision that's bigger than ourselves? Can we establish a vision that's dynamic and transformative and has a horizon? Can we create then the balance in our lives that we need to have so that we can eliminate the wobble and not be equally balanced, but be dynamically balanced? Can we focus in on those activities that will generate the greatest results, create systems and processes, create teams around us that are unique ability teams that support us in what we're doing and where we're going, and support that bigger, dynamic, transformative horizon? And yes, we will have more confidence. We will become better attractants. We will attract greater opportunities and greater relationships into our lives. Enjoy this week. Stay on track. Keep capturing what you're learning. And let's keep celebrating as we go. And I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.